Oh, good afternoon. April 14th, second meeting of the Capital Improvement Committee. As you see, we have a quorum. There are 3 of us out of our normal 5. And our 2 missing members, Roland and Kim, we miss you. Hope to see you soon. What I would like to do, since Kim's not here, I depend on her for most of it. In the envelope I gave you, the purple folder, I had put an agenda in there. And I do want to ask your input. If we want to move things around and not go in a particular order,
Okay.
it's fine with me.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, if something, you know, more important comes up. One of the things I thought might happen is if you kind of talk to your friends about our meetings and invite them to join us would be a good thing.
Okay.
Okay, Joe? Get Nancy up here, whatever. The things in your packet, by the way, are all things that I've sent to you via email, but I just want to make sure you have a hard copy. And I am keeping a hard copy of every bit of our correspondence we get from inside, outside, whatever.
Okay.
So we have it on file, just have some kind of organization. The biggest thing we had was our bylaws. I think it might behoove us to table that until Roland and Kim are here. Joe, I see you're reading it. These are, the draft is a compilation of bylaws that Kim sent to me from other Maine municipalities
That have a,
that have
a
an
committee
active
existing.
committee.
okay.
And, you know, some of those things, she told me to pull out what would be pertinent for us and, you know, and what would not, would be, you know, well, like, we don't have to deal with the highway department and things like that, you know. So perhaps if you would read it, mark it up, and when we get together the next time, a full board,
Sure.
everybody can discuss it. That work for you, Joe?
Yes.
Works for you, Wayne?
Yes.
Okay, good. We should have a vice chair, and not just a chairman. And so the vice chair would be open to Roland, Joe, or you, Wayne.
You,
Or,
How do you feel about it, Mike?
how do you feel about it, Wayne?
I've been voluntold many times, so that's fine.
Oh, he knows the routine, Joe.
Okay, good.
Okay, so Joe, would you like to nominate Wayne as vice
I
chair?
nominate Wayne Michaud as vice chair of the Capital Improvement Committee.
And I second that. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Very good. Thank you, Wayne. Joe, have you been able to find anything out on anything that was assigned?
I've been talking, I didn't get any paperwork to the road commissioners, but I talked to both of them. And Will is working on his project this year would be Acton Ridge Road. He's gonna grind part of it, and he's gonna end at the end of the H Road and Acton Ridge Road, he's got a problem to the right, taking that banking out to the left. He's got the, what is a kind of a brook goes underneath the road on the left-hand side. The road is kind of undermined by the stream there, and I think they're gonna have to rebuild that and widen that, so that, whatever, so.
So he'll be putting some kind of budget together
Yeah.
when he's ready
Yeah.
to do
Well, what
this.
I was trying to do is get this year's, maybe next year, maybe 2, 3 years, maybe 5 years, what would, in 10 years, like, in 10 years, what we should be going to some sort of a,
Yeah, if,
cycle of, redoing the roads or whatever, I mean, it's like, if you look back, like, at the bridges have been neglected and for maintenance, and they've been neglected as far as the priority, and all of a sudden, in the last year, we've come around to the canal and we're coming close on the road. So I think that what we have to do is take an inventory of what's what on the needs of the town and head in that direction to solve the problems.
right. I think if you look at our bylaws, one of our goals should be 1, 3, and 10 years, maybe 1, 3, 5, but at least
Yeah.
1, 3, and 10 years.
Yeah,
That would be the way to look at it. So there is definitely some forward planning. So I think that works with what you're saying, Joe.
yeah. Stuff that,
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's all, I think the whole thing is you get
yeah,
this popularity contest with the selectmen, and you get selectmen in there, they're in there for 3 years, and then somebody else comes in, there's no, it's like with the school has an agenda, but they have people focusing on this day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. And I think this is one thing, is I'm not criticizing that, but the town has just been aloof from taking the responsibility of what, it's like, look at the well. We have 2 wells here and you can't use either one of them.
Right.
Because the decision was made to put them in the wrong place, and of course they use salt and they don't.
Right.
So I mean, it's
one-
the money that's wasted through
that-
municipal incompetence and without any oversight, it's just too much. I mean, it bothers people.
so is that that's pretty much where we come in, right?
That's,
Well, we're coming in with suggestions.
To try and
Yeah.
whatever.
clean that up and suggest, and
and that's exactly right, too.
we're impartial, because we're just collecting data, basically, and
Exactly. We're collecting data. We're not saying we're going to give somebody this, or we're going to, no.
Nope, that's
We're just
not
going to
our-
present the data.
Yeah.
This is what we found. Joe, going into what you said about, changing, one of the things in the bylaws that I found from the 5 different towns that I looked at was members shall serve a 3-year term and be eligible for reappointment. And that kind of helps the continuation going on. By attrition, people will come and go. But there's something we have to talk about, because that is a change for the way committees in town are usually set up.
sure.
We have 1, 2, and 3-year appointments to go through. But I think what I read is capital improvement needs that continuity.
And it's supposed to be a flexible thing that's, nothing's in stone, it's just a guideline to go by, and obviously things happen and take precedent, but
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, okay, so, anyway, please take the draft home, read it, take it apart, put it together, whatever you want, however you want to do it. We have this. So, Joe, you talked to those people, but you haven't got anything back from them.
Well, I've got, whatever, I think the whole thing that I didn't write down, I have to write down something on paper so that they can fill it out, and we'll take it from there. I talked to the other one, Adam,
Yeah,
he's been appointed by the selectmen.
right,
He worked on the Sanborn Road, not Sanborn, yeah, Sanborn, but the county road is where he was brushing. He's been doing potholes and just regular maintenance. And I
Right.
think what he was concentrating on doing this year is the county road, which I don't usually go over that much, so I'm not quite sure what he's doing. So I think it's a thing of communication too, it's,
Yeah.
but it's different. these are younger kids, they don't have the, years ago I worked with some older guys that I learned a lot from, but they've been working with roads and material and building roads for years, and you learn a lot. And I think these kids they're there, they mean well, they're younger, and I think it's just if we have a suggestion, I think we should give it to them and then see how they take it. So.
Well, everybody and anybody, citizen on, up or down as you go, can make suggestions, but we have to be focused on what we have to do.
Right.
So, then going on from that, if you saw on April 1st, and you have one in your thing, this was from Kim Stacy Horn, and she went to Michelle to find out what the needs were just on the top for this building. Nothing has been gone into. Some of these things, I believe, will appear in this year's warrant, so, we'll know by June if they're something that need to be, we need to look at. But these are the kind of things we need to, the number 12, if you look at that, we have one bathroom that's open to the public and one bathroom that's open to employees. And I honestly must say, I'm not familiar with either one, and I don't know if they are both ADA compliant. That would be something that we would say, okay, this bathroom where it's fine as it is, but it has to be ADA compliant, so we put it,
Put a bid out for a contractor to come in and check it out.
what's it gonna cost, What is it going to cost to, this kitchen need renovation? We're not gonna look for bids, but we need to we can't just pull a number from the sky.
Right. Somebody's got to come out and evaluate it and say their piece of what they think needs to be done.
Right, exactly. And we always have to keep in mind, we don't need marble countertops, we don't need, we need some good,
Functional.
durable, functional things. And I think that, that goes for a lot of these things. Now, I've never been in this door. I understand this needs, there's a little porch out here.
Okay.
Joe, this little porch out here?
Up behind the building.
Yeah, right by you?
It needs to be,
That needs to be redone, so, we have to, get these things looked at. But I think we have to put our list together first, see what else needs to be, if the fire chief gives us a list, that is beautiful.
Sure.
Because he's gonna tell us what he needs, and he knows what he needs today. He knows his equipment, so he's gonna know what he needs in a couple of years.
Yeah.
He's going to know that the fire truck or the ambulance is gonna have to be replaced in a few years, or whatever it happens to be. So that's good. And we can, I have to start laughing because in the time of COVID, like the dock extension I could have bought last year for $700 is now $1,200 this year.
Yeah.
So we also have to be mindful of the increases because of the effect of manufacturing.
Right.
And yet, it's never gonna go back down to zero again.
No. But, that's where we look at, once we get all this stuff together and, okay, what absolutely has to be done because it's a safety thing or a code thing.
Right,
Has to be done. Okay, yeah, well, it stinks that it's double right now, but we gotta spend it.
right, exactly,
Versus that can wait a year and then maybe in a year,
Yeah.
things won't be so crazy.
right. The things that, that's when there's gonna be a lot of work coming together, putting a document together, saying this is what we found.
Yeah.
And this is first year, third year, 10th year. we'll know what's going on. So that's where we'll be. Number 4, the discussion of implied authority necessary to accomplish the mission of the committee. I really will leave that to Kim,
Okay,
because if our hands are tied, we can't do our job. We have to be able to speak to, you know,
we need to be allowed to gain the knowledge that we need.
Right.
To put the lists that we need together.
right, we need to be able to speak to our very nice superintendent of schools.
Yeah,
You know, to the gentleman that runs the transfer station. And that's, you know, since we haven't seen the warrant for this year yet, I do have a copy of the school department warrant, because I watched that show, the Zoom meeting the other night, but we don't know what might be on this year's warrant, that maybe it's something for the town hall that we can just scratch out.
sure.
And the thing that we will have to do is start doing, from what I understand, is, let's say one of the bathrooms, hypothetically, and they come in and they say, well, you have a hand bar here, but, you know, the sink is too high for someone in a wheelchair, or, you know, you have to do A, B, and C. Okay, so A, B, and C is gonna cost us $4,000. Okay, A, B, and C is gonna cost us $4,000 at today's dollars. We have to set, when we push this to put it forward, there has to be a capital improvement reserve account bathroom, $4,000. I don't think we should put it all.
Now, I know we discussed last time that if it were less than a certain amount, then we're not really
Correct.
looking to put that as an item.
That's right.
So
Right.
do we need to identify what that threshold is for us?
Yeah, we should. And I know that
That way we're not making the list longer than they need to
it
be.
needs to be. Yeah, and I mean, there's certain things, I think if you're spending over $5,000, you have to get so many bids for it and stuff like that. But we should get that sound threshold. So, would you say,
Yeah, I think $5,000 you're supposed to get a bid, you know, it's like the parking lot for $75,000. What are you doing for $75,000? Nobody, there's no details or.
well, yeah, one of the, I'm a firm believer in getting specs, you know.
Well, I mean.
If you're getting a piece of machinery, or you're getting a big job done, what does that mean? You know, tell me what you're gonna do for that $75,000. It doesn't mean you're
I don't
just,
think they know, you know,
Well-
after talking to them, it's just, you know.
you know, they're gonna have to work on that, because that's not in our purview to do. We can only do what we can do,
Yeah, it's definitely,
put forward what we can do. I mean,
we have to separate ourselves.
we do. We have to, we're wearing a hat.
Yep,
We're wearing this hat. You know, I mean, and I know some of you watching know that up until last, a year ago, August, maybe, I was the chairman of the planning board. And people would say, what, you know, what do you, and we have, at the time, I don't know what their cover of their book is now, we had a red book that was Town of Acton ordinances. And whatever we did, it had to be in that ordinance. It had to be, you know, we had to present a finding of facts. Did what Mr. Michaud want to do, was it allowed? Did it follow the ordinances? Yes, it did. You know, we couldn't say, he's a good guy, let's let him do what he wants.
Right.
You know, there's no popularity contest, good guy, bad guy. If it's allowed, it's allowed.
Yeah.
And that's it. And this is the same. We have to focus on our job, pure and simple. But, have you any questions? Because this is going to be an early meeting for us guys tonight with
No, I don't.
two buddies sick.
No. How long do you think Roland will be out?
I think Roland will be back on his feet in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and what about Kim?
I'll call Kim and find out.
So did Roland actually contract?
Roland's son, wife, and father were ill. And I know Roland had one test that was negative. But I do know he does not feel well right now,
Okay.
and he's not here.
I think it's really, it's a very mysterious thing.
You know, and we'll save that discussion. Since we haven't been able to accomplish what I had liked to tonight, when can we meet again?
Are you gonna include Roland and Kim?
Sorry?
Are you gonna include Roland and Kim?
Yeah, so I'm
It has to
thinking
be at least 2 weeks.
at least 2 weeks out, at least 2 weeks out. So 2 weeks, so that's either the 28th of April, or we could go to Cinco de Mayo, May 5th.
That's
What
fine.
day
I would
is
say further might be better if people are still, if
Yeah.
we're still
Agreed.
trying to gather. And
Agreed.
people are sick, they're not gonna go gather
Right,
anything.
right.
So,
So May 5th,
yeah, that sounds good to me.
What day is that, Joyce?
Wednesday,
Wednesday, okay.
okay.
Do you want citizens, taxpayers also to come to these meetings?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, because I was gonna ask Ann McEachran, if I saw her drive by, she would be a good, she's
Yeah.
intelligent.
Oh, yeah, that would be lovely. That would be,
Insight. of-
you know, we're open, we're transparent, and that would be fine. Because as you see, I have a place for public comment on here, you know, and a place for member comments, so,
We'll have to
you know, but-
reorganize ourselves to let them give
Yeah.
us input on the stuff that we're going over.
exactly, exactly. And I think when and if things, you know, maybe June or so, get a little better, we'll be able to do more.
Sure.
I just want everybody to be well. And I did talk with Jen before our meeting started, and she is going to assign us town email addresses,
Oh, okay.
and she'll get to it. She's been extremely busy right now. I mean, you know, this time of year preparing the budget.
She's pretty busy any time of the year. but-
She's busy, you know, she's up to here.
Yeah.
You know, she's up to here. So that's, you know, that's that. Other than that, and without everybody being here, do you have anything you want to add, Joe?
No, not right now.
Okay. Me neither. So, I will ask for a motion to adjourn, guys.
The motion to adjourn, please.
Seconded?
All in favor? Thank you for being here. Thank you, Virginia.
Thank you.